Leonardo DiCaprio and the knock from inside. Part 1, The First Sound. Leonardo DiCaprio heard the knock at 12:41 a.m. It came from the front door. 3 slow knocks. Not loud. Not urgent. Just firm enough to be intentional. 1. Leonardo froze in the hallway, glass of water still in his hand. The countryside house was silent otherwise. No wind. No insects. No distant traffic. The kind of silence that feels unnatural once it's broken. He waited. Nothing followed. No footsteps. No voice. No movement. 2. He told himself it was an animal. Old houses settle. Wood contracts. Pipes knock. Still, the sound had been too deliberate. Leonardo walked toward the door, every step echoing louder than it should have. The wooden floor creaked under his weight, the sound traveling through the empty house like a warning. He looked through the peephole. The porch was empty. The dirt road beyond the house stretched into darkness, untouched. 3. Leonardo opened the door. Cold night air rushed in. The porch light flickered once, then stabilized. No one stood there. No footprints in the dirt. No sign of movement. He stepped outside and looked around. Nothing. The forest line remained still. Too still. 4. Leonardo closed the door and locked it. The sound of the bolt sliding into place was reassuring. Final. He took a breath and laughed quietly to himself. Get a grip, he muttered. 5. He turned to walk back toward the bedroom. And heard the knock again. 6. This time, it didn't come from the front door. It came from inside the house. 3 slow knocks. Behind the wall to his right. 7. Leonardo stopped breathing. The knock echoed through the hallway wood, dull and close. Not hollow like a door. Solid. Like knuckles against plaster. 8. Hello, he called, voice tight. Silence followed. The house seemed to absorb the sound of his voice, swallowing it whole. 9. Leonardo placed his palm against the wall. It was cold. Then. Knock. 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 Directly beneath his hand. 10. Leonardo staggered back. No, he whispered. He backed away slowly, eyes locked on the wall as if it might open. Nothing moved. 11. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. The silence returned, thicker now, heavier than before. Leonardo told himself he was imagining things. Fear has a way of traveling inward once it enters a place. 12. He walked to the kitchen and poured another glass of water, hands trembling. The clock on the microwave glowed. 12:53 a.m. He leaned against the counter, forcing himself to breathe slowly. 13. Then the knock came again. From the bedroom door. 14. 3 knocks. Soft. Polite. Like someone asking permission. 15. Leonardo stared down the hallway. The bedroom door was closed. He had closed it himself. 16. Who is it? He asked. His voice sounded too loud. Too human. A pause. Then a reply. From the other side of the door. Quiet. Close. I've already come in. 17. Leonardo felt the room tilt. The knock came again. Not on the door. From inside the closet. 18. 3 slow knocks. Wood against wood. Waiting. 19. Leonardo stepped back, heart pounding so hard it hurt. "I don't care what you want," he said, voice breaking. Just leave. Silence. Then a whisper, sliding under the doorframe like breath. I live where you close things. 20. The closet door handle turned slightly. Not enough to open. Just enough to move. Leonardo ran. End of Part 1. Part 2, The House That Listened Back. Leonardo did not stop running until the bedroom door slammed shut behind him. The sound echoed once. Then died. Too quickly. 1. He stood in the middle of the bedroom, chest heaving, eyes scanning every corner. Nothing moved. The closet door was closed. The window curtains hung still. The room smelled faintly of dust and old wood, like a place that hadn't been disturbed in years. That thought made his stomach turn. Because he had been disturbing it. 2. He locked the bedroom door. The lock clicked into place. A small, fragile sound. He backed away from it anyway. 3. The house was silent again. Not peaceful. Listening. Leonardo checked his phone. No signal. No bars. No service. The time glowed back at him. 1:06 a.m. 4. He sat on the edge of the bed, trying to slow his breathing. Old houses make noise, he told himself. Fear exaggerates patterns. Knocks can travel through wood. He repeated these thoughts carefully, like steps across thin ice. 5. Then the knock came again. Not loud. Not fast. 3 slow taps. From the bedroom door. 6. Leonardo didn't answer. He held his breath. The knock came again. Closer this time. From inside the room. 7. 3 taps. On the headboard. 8. Leonardo stood up so fast the bed creaked loudly beneath him. No, he whispered. The taps stopped. Silence followed. A long one. 9. His eyes drifted to the closet. The handle was perfectly still. But the door wasn't flush anymore. A thin black line showed at the edge. Open just enough to notice. 10. Leonardo took a step back. The black line widened. Not because the door moved. But because the darkness inside it pressed forward. 11. A voice came from the closet. Not loud. Not threatening. Familiar. Almost patient. You shut the door too fast. 12. Leonardo's mouth went dry. Who are you? He asked. The voice paused. As if considering whether the question deserved an answer. 13. I'm the one who knocks back, it said. 14. The closet door rattled once. Just enough to make the handle twitch. Leonardo backed toward the bed, heart hammering. What do you want? He asked. 15. Silence. Then. 3 knocks. From inside the closet. 16. Leonardo felt something shift inside his chest. This wasn't random. This wasn't haunting for the sake of fear. It was responding. 17. He remembered the words it had said earlier. I live where you close things. Doors. Closets. Walls. Boundaries. 18. Leonardo looked around the room. Every door was closed. Bedroom door. Closet door. Bathroom door. Even the window was shut tight. The room felt sealed. Trapped. 19. Slowly, he reached for the bedroom door lock. Unlocked it. The click sounded unnaturally loud. The air in the room shifted immediately, lighter, as if something had exhaled. 20. The closet door stopped rattling. The darkness retreated slightly. The voice whispered, almost pleased. "That's better." 21. Leonardo backed away, pulse racing. "You want the doors open?" he asked. A pause. Then a soft reply. "Not open," it said. Unfinished. 22. The knock came again. Not from the closet. Not from the door. From inside the wall behind the bed. 23. Leonardo jumped as the sound traveled through the wood, slow and deliberate. 3 taps. Waiting. 24. He understood something then. The knocking followed closure. The more he sealed himself in, the closer it moved. 25. Leonardo pulled the bedroom door open fully and stepped into the hallway. The house felt different instantly. Longer. Deeper. The hallway stretched farther than it should have, shadows pooling where light should have reached. 26. At the far end of the hallway, another door stood half open. He didn't remember that door being there. From behind it came a familiar sound. 3 slow knocks. 27. Leonardo stood frozen. The voice whispered from the darkness beyond the door. "You keep making rooms for me." 28. The knock came again. This time. From behind him. Inside the bedroom he had just left. End of Part 2. Part 3, The Rooms That Shouldn't Exist. Leonardo did not turn around. He already knew what he would see if he did. 1. The knock behind him did not repeat. That was worse. Knocks usually demand response. Silence after a knock means the response has already been decided. Leonardo stood in the hallway, shoulders tense, eyes fixed on the half-open door at the far end. The house felt longer now. Not physically, mentally. Like every step forward would cost him something. 2. He moved toward the open door. Slowly. Each footstep echoed twice, once immediately, once again a moment later, delayed, distorted, as if the house was copying him badly. The smell changed as he walked. Damp wood. Old fabric. Something metallic beneath it. Blood, his mind supplied. He wished it wouldn't. 3. The door led to a room he didn't recognize. No furniture. No windows. Just bare wooden walls, stained dark in places where hands might have rested too long. In the center of the floor sat a chair. Facing the doorway. 4. Leonardo stopped at the threshold. The chair looked ordinary. Too ordinary. The kind of chair you'd find anywhere. Which meant it didn't belong here. 5. He heard breathing. Not behind him. Not inside the room. From the walls. Slow, uneven breaths, like someone listening too closely. Then the voice spoke again. Not from one place. From everywhere. This is where he stayed. 6. Who? Leonardo asked, barely above a whisper. The air felt tight around his throat. The man who closed the doors, the voice replied. The one before you. 7. The room darkened slightly. Not the light, the edges. Images pressed into Leonardo's thoughts, sharp and intrusive. A man pacing this same hallway. Slamming doors shut. Locking them. Boarding windows. Trying to make the house smaller. 8. He thought if he sealed it enough, the voice continued calmly. There would be no room left for me. The chair creaked. Leonardo hadn't seen it move. But someone was sitting in it now. 9. Not fully visible. Just a shape. Hunched. Too tall to be comfortable in the chair. Its hands rested on its knees. Fingers long. Still. 10. Leonardo's heart hammered. What happened to him? He asked. The figure lifted its head slightly. The knock answered for it. 3 slow taps. From inside the man's chest. 11. Leonardo staggered backward. No, he whispered. The voice was closer now. He stayed, it said. He kept listening. Kept closing. Kept answering. 12. The figure in the chair rose. Leonardo saw enough then. No face. Just a smooth, stretched surface where one should be. Indented slightly, like something had pressed against it from the inside too many times. 13. The figure stepped toward Leonardo. Each step landed with a soft knock. Wood on wood. Wall on wall. Inside on inside. 14. Leonardo ran. 15. He didn't know where he was going. The hallway twisted, branching into corridors he didn't remember. Doors lined the walls, some open, some closed, some half-finished like the one he had just left. Knocks echoed everywhere now. Some near. Some distant. Some impossibly close. 16. He burst into the living room. The front door was still there. Still locked. He lunged for it, hands shaking, and unlocked it. The moment the lock turned, the knocking stopped. All of it. 17. The house sighed. Not relief. Disappointment. 18. Leonardo yanked the door open. Outside was not the porch. Not the forest. Not the road. It was another hallway. Longer. Darker. Lined with doors on both sides. Every door was closed. Every door was knocking. 19. 3 slow taps. Perfectly synchronized. Leonardo slammed the door shut. The sound of wood hitting wood echoed like a scream. 20. The voice returned, no longer patient. No longer calm. You keep giving me rooms, it said. The walls began to press inward. Not collapsing. Leaning. 21. Leonardo backed away, breath ragged. What do you want from me? He shouted. The knocking stopped. Complete silence. Then the answer. I want you to stop answering. 22. A realization hit him. Every time he reacted. Every time he ran, opened, closed, listened. It moved closer. It wasn't chasing him. It was being invited. 23. The house went still. Waiting. Leonardo stood in the center of the living room, hands shaking, heart pounding. Doors around him. Walls listening. A presence pressed just behind every surface. 24. Slowly, deliberately, Leonardo sat down on the floor. He closed his eyes. He covered his ears. And for the first time since the knocking began, he did nothing. 25. The house trembled. Not in anger. In confusion. End of part 3. Part 4, when silence isn't enough. Doing nothing felt wrong. The human mind is not built for true stillness, not when something is waiting for a response. Leonardo sat on the living room floor, eyes closed, hands clamped over his ears, forcing himself not to react to anything the house did next. That was the mistake. 1. At first, there was nothing. No knocks. No whispers. No movement. The silence stretched. Leonardo's breathing slowed. His heartbeat, though still fast, began to steady. A fragile sense of control returned. It needs response, he thought. If I don't answer, it can't. The knock came from inside his chest. 2. 3 slow taps. Not loud. Not painful. Internal. Leonardo gasped and tore his hands from his ears, clutching his shirt. The sound hadn't traveled through air. It had traveled through bone. 3. He stood up, staggering. The house was silent again. But the feeling remained, a dull vibration behind his ribs, like an echo that refused to fade. "You found a new door," the voice said softly. Leonardo spun around. Nothing stood behind him. The voice was closer now, not spatially, but intimately. 4. "You thought ignoring me would work," it continued. That's what he thought too. Leonardo backed toward the wall. "What do you want?" he whispered again. The answer came immediately this time. "I want somewhere that doesn't shut." 5. The walls rippled slightly, like breath moving under skin. Leonardo felt pressure behind his eyes. A memory, not his, pushed forward. A man sitting on a floor just like this one. Hands over ears. Eyes squeezed shut. The knock starting softly, then moving inward. 6. He stopped answering, the voice said. So I answered for him. Leonardo felt something shift inside his chest. Not pain. Space. Like a hollow forming where something solid used to be. 7. He staggered toward the mirror above the fireplace. His reflection looked wrong. Not distorted. Delayed. When Leonardo raised his hand, the reflection followed a fraction of a second too late. The knock sounded again. From the glass. From inside the reflection's chest. 8. Leonardo backed away, heart racing. I'm not a door, he said. The voice sounded almost amused. No, it replied. But you're made of them. 9. His mouth. His eyes. His ears. Places things go in. Places sounds come out. The knocking began to spread. Not louder. More frequent. One knock in his chest. One behind his eyes. One deep in his skull. 10. Leonardo screamed. The sound felt thin. Weak. The house did not react. Because the sound hadn't gone out. It had gone in. 11. You keep closing yourself, the voice said. Fear does that. Silence does that. Leonardo dropped to his knees. What do I do? He begged. The answer came slower this time. Measured. Thoughtful. 12. You let something stay open, it said. 13. The knocking stopped. All at once. The sudden quiet was unbearable. Leonardo realized he was being given a choice. Not escape. Not victory. A compromise. 14. Slowly, he understood. The previous man had closed everything. Doors. Windows. Himself. And when there was nowhere left, the knocking moved inward. 15. Leonardo stood unsteadily and walked toward the front door. His hand hovered over the lock. The house felt tense. Listening. Waiting. 16. If I open this, Leonardo said aloud, voice shaking. You stay out. A pause. Then the voice replied. I don't know how to be outside. 17. Leonardo's eyes filled with tears. What happens if I don't open anything? The answer was immediate. You become it. 18. His hand trembled. The lock was cold beneath his fingers. He imagined the hallway beyond the door, the endless one with doors knocking in unison. Opening it might not lead outside. But closing it again would lead nowhere at all. 19. Leonardo turned instead toward the back of the house. toward a door he hadn't touched all night. The basement. It was slightly ajar. Always had been. He remembered noticing it earlier and ignoring it. Unfinished. 20. The voice went silent. Not angry. Alert. Leonardo swallowed and stepped toward the basement door. With every step, the pressure inside his chest eased slightly. The knocking receded. 21. He stopped at the top of the stairs. Darkness waited below. Not hostile. Expectant. Leonardo placed his hand on the door and pushed it fully open. The hinges groaned loudly. The sound echoed through the house. For the first time. The knock did not answer back. 22. The house exhaled. Leonardo stood there, shaking, heart pounding, staring into the darkness below. He didn't know if this would save him. He only knew one thing. The knocking needed closed spaces. And he had just given it a place that never ended. 23. From deep below the house, something shifted. Not moving closer. Moving away. The voice whispered faintly, no longer inside the walls. "You'll regret leaving it open." Leonardo whispered back. "So will you." 24. The house fell silent. Not waiting. Not listening. Just, empty. Leonardo did not close the basement door. He never would. End of part 4. Final part, the door that stayed open. The house never knocked again. That was not the relief Leonardo expected. 1. Morning arrived quietly. No birds. No wind. No creaking wood. Just light, thin and pale, sliding across the living room floor as if it didn't want to wake anything. Leonardo sat on the couch all night, eyes fixed on the hallway, the basement door still open behind him. Darkness pooled at the top of the stairs, unmoving. Waiting had changed. It wasn't hunting anymore. It was contained. 2. He stood slowly, joints stiff, body heavy with exhaustion. Every instinct told him to close the basement door. To finish it. To restore order. He didn't. Some part of him knew that would be the last mistake he ever made. 3. The house felt different now. Not safer. Honest. Rooms no longer stretched when he walked through them. Doors remained doors. Walls stayed where they were. But the silence had weight. Not pressure, responsibility. 4. Leonardo packed his things and left the house before noon. He did not look back. He did not say goodbye. Some places don't want closure. They want continuity. 5. Life moved on. Weeks passed. Then months. Leonardo slept again, but lightly. Always near open windows. Always with doors left slightly ajar. He avoided enclosed spaces. Closets. Small rooms. Locked bathrooms. And he never stayed anywhere with every door shut. 6. Sometimes, late at night, he heard it. Not knocking. Testing. A faint tap inside a wall. A sound deep in a building's frame. Something checking whether space still existed. He never answered. 7. One evening, in a hotel far from the countryside house, Leonardo noticed the bathroom door slowly closing on its own. Just an inch. Then another. He stood and walked over. Before it could shut completely, he stopped it. Held it open. The air shifted. The pressure faded. 8. He understood then. The knocking never wanted entry. It wanted containment. A place where nothing escaped. A space where everything ended. 9. Leonardo became careful. Not paranoid. Intentional. He learned the shape of rooms the way some people learn exits during a fire. He learned which spaces breathed. Which ones listened back. 10 years later, the house was sold. Renovated. The new owners sealed the basement. Finished it. Painted it. Turned it into a storage room. 11 3 months after the renovation, neighbors reported strange sounds. Not screams. Not crashes. 3 slow knocks. Coming from inside the walls. 12 Leonardo heard about it on the news. He turned off the television. Closed his eyes. And whispered, "I warned you." 13 That night, in his own home, Leonardo sat awake in bed. Every door open. Every room unfinished. The house was quiet. Respectfully so. 14 At 12:41 a.m., he heard a sound. Not a knock. A breath. From somewhere far away. Disappointed. 15 Leonardo did not move. Did not answer. Did not close anything. The sound faded. 16 Some horrors don't follow people. They follow habits. They wait for sealed spaces. For certainty. For silence that believes it's safe. 17 Leonardo DiCaprio never fully closed a door again. And the knocking. It learned to stay where it belonged. The end. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching.